Hello friends, welcome to my channel Oceantechinfo. So today we are going to talk about introduction to ReactJS. So let's get started. Introduction to ReactJS. Now, first of all, what is ReactJS? So ReactJS is a front-end JS library which is developed by Facebook in 2011. It follows the component-based approach which helps to build reusable user interfaces components. It is used to develop complex and interactive web and mobile user interfaces. It's an open sourced and supported by one of the largest communities. Now, who invented ReactJS? So ReactJS was founded by Jordan Walk, a software engineer working for Facebook. What are the benefits of using ReactJS library? Or sometimes this is a question asked, what are the reasons to choose ReactJS for your project? So these are the benefits if we use ReactJS library. It uses virtual DOM instead of real DOM because real DOM manipulations are expensive. It follows unidirectional data flow or data binding. It follows component-based approach. It uses a reusable UI component to develop the view. It offers fast rendering. It comes with a useful developer tool set. It supports server-side rendering. It is one of the largest community support established. React acts as a standard for mobile app development. React improves SEO performance as well. It is very easy to learn as compared to other frameworks. Which kind of project should you use ReactJS? Although ReactJS you can use with any stack or backend technology, so the list of projects will be more, but there are few examples of the web apps where you can use ReactJS. It is used to develop e-commerce, retail, web-based applications. It is used to develop blogs, dashboard-based web apps, portfolios, e-learning web apps, personal website for self-promotion, business web apps, forums, social networking web apps, job portal web apps, and many more. What is virtual DOM and how virtual DOM works? It's an in-memory representation of real DOM. This representation of UI is kept in memory and sync with the real DOM. Virtual DOM is a step that happens between the render function being called and displaying of elements on the browser. So this entire process is called as reconciliation. Now let's understand how the virtual DOM works. So whenever any states or props changes in a component, the entire UI re-render in the virtual DOM representation. So as you know that virtual DOM representation is an in-memory representation of the UI. So this is a browser. This will be create the virtual DOM, and in the second step, virtual DOM will get compared with the previous real DOM which were created on the first time of page load. So then the difference between the real DOM and the virtual DOM is calculated. After that, the real DOM gets updated. Once the calculation are done, the real DOM will be updated with only those differences that has made the actual changes. That means these changes will get updated only. The entire DOM will not get updated. So that is the benefit of using a virtual DOM concept, and ReactJS follows the virtual DOM concept only. Now let's understand the difference between the virtual DOM versus real DOM. So virtual DOM updates the DOM element very quickly and fastly, but real DOM gets updated slowly. Virtual DOM cannot directly update HTML, but real DOM will always update the HTML directly. In virtual DOM, it updates JSX if elements get updated. But in case of real DOM, it creates a new DOM if the elements get updated. In virtual DOM manipulation is very easy, but in case of real DOM manipulation is too expensive. In virtual DOM, no memory wastage is there, but in case of real DOM, too much memory is going to be wasted. What is JSX and how is it differ from HTML? JSX stands for JavaScript XML, or it's a syntactical extension of JavaScript, you can say it. So let's take an example how you write the JSX. Let's take an example here. So const element equal to h1 and writing a text hello Ashwini Rajput and close this heading text. So this element you have closed here, so and assign it to a variable, so that will become a JSX. So the above statement is neither a string nor HTML. It's called as a JSX. It's also called as an expression, which gives you an expressiveness of JavaScript along with the HTML-like template syntax. So after compilation, JSX expressions becomes regular JavaScript functions calls and it evaluates the JavaScript object. So finally, this JSX gets converted into the JavaScript function calls and evaluate to the JavaScript objects. Now, where can you use JSX? So JSX can be used in the following scenarios. You can use JSX inside the if statements and for loops. If you see the example here, welcome user is a function. So here in the if statement, I use the JSX. It accepts as arguments. Yes, inside a function, you can pass a JSX as an argument. It can be used to assign in a variable. See the example here. So this JSX expression is assigned to a variable called element. It can also be used to return from any functions. So if you see the example here, that this JSX expression is going to be returned from this method or a function. So in this way, you can use the JSX. Why should you use JSX? What is the benefit you can get it if you use the JSX? So these are the 4 points that I'm going to explain you the importance to use JSX. First, it is faster than the regular JavaScript because it performs optimization while translating the code to JavaScript objects. Second, instead of separating technologies by putting markup and logic in separate files, React uses component and that contain both. That means markup as well as logic inside a single file. Third, it is a type safe and most of the errors can be handled at the compilation time. Fourth, it makes easier to create templates. So JSX is the best way to create templates. Now, how React works. So, step by step, I'm going to explain how React works. So, in these 2 steps, you can get to know how React exactly works. First, it creates a virtual DOM. When a state or prop updates in a component, it firstly runs a diffing algorithm, which identifies what has changed in virtual DOM. So that means it never directly update the real DOM. It just get updated virtual DOM when and only when a state or prop gets updated. Step second, reconciliation. It is a process to determine which part of the real DOM needs to be updated. That means any changes required. So first virtual DOM gets updated, and that wheresoever the changes needs to be updated, that part of the real DOM will get updated. So actually the real DOM and new updated virtual DOM are being compared. If they are not equal, React will update the real DOM, else it will not update. So in this way, the React applications are going to be work. Now I'm going to explain by writing a simple program in ReactJS application. So installation and execution of this ReactJS program I will cover in the separate video. So here I'm just going to explain a small and a simple program, how to write it in ReactJS application. So first there would be a index.html file. If you see it here, this is the HTML. Inside the body there is a div tag and having ID root. So on this, finding this root and the component has to be mounted here. So first we need to import React, then React DOM. Why it is required? Because after finding this root element, I need to mount my application component. That means the app component. So what is there? So I will show you just after this slide. So this is React DOM. So on React DOM, I need to render my application. So find out the root element. So document.getElementById by ID root, and this application gets mounted here. Now this is the app.jsx. So this is a component which has to be rendered after finding this root element in the DOM, which is called the real DOM. So now this, I'm going to return a div with class name app-container. So a div will be created with this class name, and here I'm just showing heading 1, and inside this hello Ashwani as a text will be rendered on the HTML page, which is called index.html page. Summary. So what you have covered so far in introduction to ReactJS. What is ReactJS? Who invented ReactJS library? What are the reasons to choose it for your project? What kind of project should you use ReactJS? What is virtual DOM? How virtual DOM works? What is the difference between virtual DOM and real DOM? What is JSX? How does it differ from HTML that I have explained? Where can you use JSX and why should you use JSX? How React works. I have also explained you how to write a simple application or simple program in ReactJS. So that's all about the introduction to ReactJS. So thank you so much for watching Oceantechinfo channel. So to get the latest videos and updation in ReactJS technology, so please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you so much.